Hello and welcome back to another episode of BattleCHAT, where you guys chill and I talk about BattleCon concepts. In this episode, we're going to talk about Arec and the changes he needs to become tournament legal. Now, in case you were unfamiliar with the tournament format, certain characters are actually banned and cannot be placed onto your team. These characters include Otavia, Arec, Caitlyn, and Enderbite. However, not all of them are banned for the same reasons, and understanding why Arec specifically is banned is important to understand why I think the changes I'm about to propose are the reasons and are the changes that should be made so that he can become tournament legal. Now, Caitlyn and Enderbite are banned for reasons wildly different from Arec. You see, Caitlyn is banned because of the way she polarizes matchups. Certain characters utterly destroy her, while she destroys other characters completely. This kind of randomness to how Caitlyn's matchups perform is not really good in a competitive tournament setting, which is why she's probably banned. On the other hand, a character like Enderbite's not banned for any power reason and instead is banned for convenience. Enderbite is a character that literally changes every game, so giving the Enderbite player 20 minutes to set up is just not feasible in a tournament with time restrictions. Now, Arec is banned simply because of one thing. He's OP. He's very strong, he deals a lot of damage, he can win so many beats in a row, and he cancels out a lot of people's abilities to hit confirm and deal damage back to him. All of these snowball together and make it so that fighting Arec is more of a chore than it is fun. And in a tournament setting, it just doesn't display your skill as much. Using Arec is essentially a crutch, allowing you to beat somebody of extremely higher skill than you, simply because you used a character that was just strong by default. Now, here's where my opinion comes in. A lot of people peg Arec's unique ability as the reason why he is so overpowered, stating the fact that his ability to instantly cancel out their hit confirm using one of his tokens is way too strong and doesn't come at any consequence to Arec because he knows when he can cancel the effects, and so it technically never affects him. For those of you who never realized, Arec's tokens actually affect him as well. And a decent Arec player will of course play around this, not playing a drive when he cancels out before activating effects. So, with this in mind, opponents do say that Arec is way too strong because their drives are useless, their bursts are useless, their dashes are useless. Now, when it comes to adjusting our dear illusionist, many people point towards his unique ability, stating that this is the very reason why he's overpowered and so must be the thing that we nerf. However, I'm not part of this camp. I personally believe that Arec's unique ability is completely fine, not just because of the fact that it only affects him, but also because of the fact that if you don't have any triggered effects on your cards, his unique ability does absolutely nothing. If you just play a shot with decent range, Arec cannot make you miss. Now, a lot of people seem to fail to understand this concept, but that doesn't lower the power level of Arec at all. You see, his unique ability is completely fine. It's all just about mix-ups. If Arec gets you with his unique ability, then he got you, and he deserves to be able to win that beat. Now, the main problem with Arec, in my personal opinion, is the fact that he wins a bit too much. Now, it doesn't come with how often he wins. No, I'm not saying that. He wins pretty often because of his unique ability and his styles combining together to form attacks that are really hard to dodge or counter. That's absolutely fine. If you want to look at a character who does pretty much the same thing, you can look at Seth, who basically does the exact same thing, cancelling out your options in order to win a beat very consistently. However, the big difference between these two characters is the fact that Arec wins by too much. Whenever Seth wins a beat, he usually wins by dealing 3 damage to you or 2 damage to you or something like that. Seth doesn't really have the stats to back his ability up. So, even if Seth does indeed win 2 beats in a row, he'll deal only 4 to 5 damage to you. On the other hand, Arec is nowhere near that field. When Arec wins 2 beats in a row, it's 6 to 8 damage. That is the problem. It's not Arec's unique ability, it's not his ability to negate your effects. Truth be told, it's simply because he has too much stats for the archetype he's in. If you look at all of Arec's styles, he literally has positives on almost every single card. In fact, the only negative stat he has is power -1 on Phantom. Now, all it takes is a simple look at Arec's cards to understand what I mean. Phantom has range +0 to 2 and priority +1. Manipulative has power +1. Perceptional has priority +1 and range +1 to 2. Mirrored has range +1 to 2 and power +1. And Returning has range +0 to 1 and priority +1. Notice how Phantom is the only style that has negative stats on it. And if you deem that minimum range is indeed a negative stat, sure, Perceptional and Mirrored have that as well. However, their effects are way more powerful than the penalty of having minimum range, especially if you're Arec and you can easily negate your opponent's advances. Now, what does this all mean? It simply means this. I believe that the way to make Arec tournament legal is to simply lower his stats. And not even in the priority field, not even in the range field, no. Just lower his power. Simply lowering the power of all of his styles by 1, literally every single style reduced by 1 except maybe for Phantom, will make Arec a decent if not really fun character to fight against. Sure, he will win a lot, but it won't hurt as much. If you make it so that Arec winning 2 beats in a row is only 4 to 5 damage, much in line with Seth, then he wouldn't be that much of a problem. Sure, he can win 2 beats in a row, but then again, most characters can make up that difference in 1 beat alone. Cadenza hitting you with a clockwork shot is easily 6 damage, and Arec winning 2 beats in a row should be 4 to 5 damage. It's pretty much this dynamic which makes Arec really broken. The fact that he can easily win beats and the amount that he wins by is way more than his archetype should be. He is a trickster, they shouldn't hit hard. But that's just my opinion, and that's just me having a little battle chat. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, do put them in the comments section down below. Of course, if you have your own opinions and think that Arec is really broken and that his unique ability is to blame and that we should change it this way, do tell me in the comments section down below. I will be very glad to read them. And of course, as with every episode of Battle Chat, if you guys have any topics you want me to discuss, do put them in the comments section down below because they will be the topic for the next video. Without much else to say, thanks for watching. Good night.